Hey everybody, Charles from GMAT Ninja here. We're here today to talk about accommodations, tons and tons of mythology about getting extra time on the test, how all that stuff works. Today we've got the guy that manages all this stuff, Jason Northrup, Testing Accommodations Senior Manager at GMAC. Jason, thank you so much for doing this with us, and we're going to jump right in. Can you tell us what are testing accommodations and what sort of conditions qualify people to receive them?
Sure. Thanks, Charles, for having me. Really important topic, I think. So test accommodations are designed to create equitable access for folks with disabilities. And so our goal is to really ensure that the test is measuring what's designed to measure, your quantitative skills, your verbal skills, and not penalize or focus on the disability, disorder, functional impairment that you experience. Uh, Types of conditions. So kind of falls into three different categories. We talk about neurodevelopmental types of disorders. Those are things like ADHD, LD, learning disabilities, um, dyslexia, and then mental health related disorders. So those are things like anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder. Again, may impact ability to sleep, concentrate, think, pay attention. And then sensory impairment. So folks who are blind, low vision, deaf, hard of hearing, individuals who use wheelchairs. Those are the kinds of broad categories or conditions that we see.
So, Jason, we've met a fair number of people who don't fit neatly into those three categories over the years. So we've had people with tinnitus ringing in their ears. We've seen people with irritable bowel syndrome. Can you say a little bit about what happens if you don't fit in those categories? Can you still apply, and what does that look like?
Sure. Short answer is absolutely. You can still apply. We do have some check boxes and drop down menus on our form, but there's always another category. Folks can write in, explain context of their condition. Um, you know, Not everything does fit cleanly. So if a condition impacts your ability to take the test, we would love to hear about it. We would love to make sure that you have equitable access to that. Um, you mentioned tinnitus, ringing in the ears, sleep-wake disorders, things like narcolepsy, right? Those things can really impact someone's ability to function day to day. And so, again, we want to step back and make it equitable for candidates.
So usually when people hear the word accommodations, if they're familiar with it at all, they automatically think this is extra testing time. Is that it? Can you say a little bit about the other sorts of accommodations that people might receive and how you go about determining what's the right accommodation for somebody?
Sure. So we typically see 50 to 100% more time. That's the most common type of accommodation. We can provide additional breaks. Um, we can provide access to a separate room, and then kind of variations of that. We'll work with Pearson VUE. That's our test delivery provider for the test center. We will work with them to make sure that that access is available. Folks may also need access to medical devices. And then, of course, when we talk about sensory impairment, there may need to be access to assistive technology in the test environment.
So, Jason, it sounds like as you describe this process and the kinds of conditions that might qualify you for accommodations, the kinds of accommodations, sounds like there's a ton of flexibility here. It sounds like human beings are actually reviewing these applications. I guess, is any part of this automated? Can you say a little bit about how that actually works mechanically once you apply?
Sure. We maybe the only part that is automated is the fact that all information goes into a secure system here at GMAC, and that is protected private health information with very few people having access to that, even within GMAC. Of course, I have access to that information, and there is a real human being. Looking at this stuff, and we're looking at self-report, narrative of the candidate. We're also looking at documentation, whether that's a brief doctor's letter outlining a condition or a lengthier psychoeducational, psychological report that needs a little bit more attention and kind of careful analysis. I also have access to sort of external objective disability consultants. So these are folks that have expertise in forensic realms, educational realms, K-12, higher education. I can get an objective recommendation from those folks, and they kind of say, here's what I see, here's what I recommend, and those people are not GMAC employees, so they have no incentive, right, to say yes or no, right, to sort of grant this or not. So I do also have those folks available for me.
Perfect. So bottom line, your information is very, very highly protected. Nobody will know about that application other than the people evaluating it. And you've got a whole team of folks who are actual humans, no AI, no robots evaluating this. And whenever you need extra people to evaluate the validity or the specific needs of that applicant, it sounds like you've got plenty of people to draw on who can help make sure that they get the right accommodation and that it's fair.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, let's go rapid fire. We got about half a dozen questions that we hear all the time from our students.
Okay.
First of all, so how long does it take to get an answer to an accommodations application?
We really strive under 16 to 20 business days because the GMAT and the EA are offered on a rolling basis, right? It's not window based. We really strive to get them out under a month. Our averages are much less than that, so you can expect a response within about 2 to 3 weeks.
And what about for people that have had accommodations in the past, maybe for the ACT or SAT or during their university studies? We've met a few folks over the years who get rejected for their GMAT accommodations. If that happens, what do you recommend that they do?
Sure. Reject is a strong word, so I'll just say we can always ask for more information. So we'll ask for additional documentation or additional rationale. Outright denials are rare, and we will always kind of leave the door open to say, hey, please tell us more. We would love to learn a little bit more, and here's the process for that.
What if somebody has taken the GMAT or the EA already without accommodations? Can they still apply for accommodations, and is it something that counts against them if they do?
It does not count against them, and anybody can apply for accommodations at any time in the process. We will review accommodation requests without consideration of how many times you've taken or plan to take the GMAT. The only thing is, obviously, we can't sort of go back in time and reinstate attempts, right, if you have taken it.
What about for people who are taking the at-home GMAT? We get that question a lot. Is it still possible to get accommodations, regardless of whether you're in the test center or taking it at home? Are those accommodations different? Is it still possible for the at-home GMAT?
It is possible. So we do have accommodations available for online delivery, test center delivery. There are some subtle nuances in some of the assistive technology that we have available to us in the online realm. So our sort of full suite of accommodations are going to be available in the test center and also some online.
And Jason, how long are accommodations valid for? So if somebody applies and maybe they wait to take their GMAT or EA, are they going to have to reapply later?
Generally 2 years. That's awesome. Sort of the window that we see, and kind of makes sense in the context of the GMAT, given how candidates approach that and what their purpose and goal is with taking it. There's an ability to renew. You can always reach out to our team for more information about that.
Last question for you. So there's the GMAT and there's a wonderful thing called the executive assessment. Let's say that you're not sure which of those tests you're going to take, but you're going to apply for accommodations. Do you need to apply separately, or how should you go about that process?
I'd say start with the GMAT. Even if you're on the fence about the GMAT versus the EA, the GMAT process is, that's where the volume is. That's where we see a lot of the requests come through. And if you are approved, we do provide instructions about how to make sure you can access those on the EA as well.
Perfect. Jason, thank you so much for doing this. And again, if you have more questions, we're going to have some links in the video description so you can learn more about how this whole process works. And remember, Jason and his team, they're all human. You have questions, reach on out. Jason, thank you so much for doing this.
I appreciate it, Charles. Thanks.